Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Bonanza is an American Western television series that all of us know. It ran on NBC from September of 1959 to January of 1973. Those 14 seasons had 432 episodes. The show is set in the 1860s, and it centers on the wealthy Cartwright family who live in the vicinity of Virginia City, Nevada, bordering Lake Tahoe. The show initially started with Lauren Green, Pernell Roberts, Dan Blocker, and Michael Landon as its stars. In the show's early episodes, the Cartwrights were hostile to visitors. Lauren Green pointed out that since the Ponderosa was so large, the Cartwrights would be an important business interest in the community, and that people would visit them for economic, political, and social reasons, and that the Cartwrights would logically welcome them. The producers agreed with this argument, and they altered the characters accordingly. Michael Landon was the only original cast member who never wore a hairpiece during filming. Pernell Roberts and Lauren Green began the series with hairpieces. Green even wore his modest frontal piece in private life too, but Roberts preferred not to wear his, even in rehearsals. Dan Blocker began wearing a toupee in 1968 as his hair had started falling out. Michael Landon did dye his hair throughout the run of the series because he began to go gray when he was just 20. There's a funny story about one of the times when they were filming an episode at Paramount Studios. Lauren Green was required to jump off a ship into a water tank. Michael Landon often recalled that when Green did the stunt, he jumped to the water feet first and went completely under, but his hairpiece came off and it floated up to the surface. Landon and co-star Dan Blocker watched to see what would happen next. After just a short time, Green's hand shot up out of the water, grabbed the hairpiece, and pulled it down. Green then emerged from the water tank wearing his hairpiece slightly askew. He walked nonchalantly past the snickering crew and went into his trailer without saying a word, as if nothing happened. Everybody had a nickname for Michael Landon on the set. They called him Socks, and the reason for this was that he smoked so heavily that even his socks smelled like cigarette smoke. By 1961, he was smoking 4 packs of unfiltered cigarettes a day. He eventually quit smoking in the summer of 1989, but then in the autumn of 1990, he began to show symptoms of pancreatic cancer that eventually took his life. The viewers of the show have only heard the famous theme song played as an instrumental. The song did have lyrics, and the footage exists of the lead actors singing them. This song version was done for the pilot episode, but it never aired that way. The series paid little attention to historical accuracy unless it was important to the plot of a given episode. The props used and the clothes worn by the cast were as much as 3 decades after the 1860s, where the show is set. This was not unusual for TV westerns of the 1950s and 60s. Ladies didn't live long on the series. It wasn't safe to be a woman around the Ponderosa. Ben Cartwright was widowed 3 times, hence his 3 sons by 3 different mothers. The Cartwright men had various love interests, but none stuck around, and many died or left town. Ray Evans and Jay Livingston said that Desi Arnaz, who was a powerful studio boss at the time, came to them and asked them to write a theme song for a new Western television show. Arnaz told them that he couldn't pay them much for their services, because the show was only going to last about 1 year. The men made a deal with him to keep the rights to the song once they had written it. When this show became an unexpected smash hit, the men made millions. And it's said that Desi intentionally had it set up to hire unknown actors to play the father and the children in the show. Desi wanted to prove a television show could be successful by the writing and not by the stars' names. Desi clashed with NBC executives who wanted to hire known names, but he proved to be right in the end, as this show went on to smash its competition in the Nielsen ratings. Michael Landon tried his hand at script writing and wasn't very good at it at the beginning. He tried a few times, and the scripts weren't worth producing. Eventually, the director found one that was okay to use. After this, he became a regular writer and director for the series. Later on, he would rewrite many of the Bonanza scripts for new episodes of Little House on the Prairie. Pernell Roberts was not popular with his co-stars or the crew of the show. He continually complained about it, feeling that it was poor quality and beneath him as an actor. When he ended up telling Lauren Green that he was leaving the series because he wanted to challenge himself as an actor, Green told him that he ought to rethink that and stick with it, because he would be so rich by the end of the series run, he could hire Tennessee Williams himself to write a play for him. After he left, the show creators rushed to solve the absence of his character. They ended up bringing in Barry Coe. He played Clay Stafford. He was a Southern California actor that was known for his good looks. His character kills a man in self-defense and is later revealed to be Little Joe's half-brother. Given the Bonanza episode that Barry Coe starred in, he and Michael Landon spent much on-screen time together. But outside of shooting the show, Landon reportedly wanted nothing to do with him. And in secret, Landon was really jealous of the actor. He reportedly worried that Coe would take away from his screen time. This caused the production to head into a secret meeting that Coe knew nothing about or the nature of it. By the end of that 3-hour meeting, it was decided that his character would be left out of future episodes of the show to save face with Michael Landon. Take a look back at a syndicated episode of Bonanza. It's always a fun watch that will bring back memories. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.